these are my note cards. Volunteers. So, alcohol addiction, drug addiction, kleptomania, or the sudden impulse to steal things. We know that these are common addictions. We know the consequences they can have for both those who carry those addictions, as well as anyone that person does know or come into contact with. Gambling addiction is no different from this. I'll be telling you how Las Vegas is the perfect place for a gambling addiction to not only cultivate, but to flourish in this environment. I think it pertains to all of us because since we do live in Las Vegas, a city known for its gambling predominantly, that's what I had come here from Texas to actually kind of pursuing. Sorry, I lost my spot. I think I have some authority to speak on this because I have both worked with a casino in terms of just being on the floor. Some of the things I observed, as well as I'm a graphic designer, so I do work for them in terms of design, like the images that you see on the slot machines. Some of the more traditional ones, those are actually designed. I've done a few for smaller casinos, of course. I'll begin with looking at the act of gambling in itself, taking a look at that and explaining kind of how that works. Why is gambling addiction? Why is it addicting? First, you're going to want to look into the brain. You'll see that your brain puts out certain chemicals while you're gambling, and these have been studied. One is dopamine, and the other is serotonin, and this causes kind of a state of, it puts you in a state of kind of craving and depression almost when you see yourself losing, but you want to constantly pursue that win. And we can look at the different fallacies as to kind of what goes through a gambler's mind as they're gambling. Sure, we all might have experience with this, but you're sitting there and you lose money, so now you're invested, so you have to go further. And you're constantly trying to make up that while losing at the same time. And it's frustrating, but it keeps you there. And we look at fallacies. It's called the gambler's fallacy. It's so basically you see the same occurrence. You bet on red and it hits black like 7 times in a row. So you think, okay, well, it hit black all these times. The next one's got to be red. Thinking that, I mean, you know it's the same possibility of either one happening, but for some reason you say, well, all of these were black. The next one has to be red. It's due. Other superstitions, like if you ever hear someone refer to a slot machine as hot or cold, one might be putting out a lot of money, so that one might be cold, whereas they'll just leave another one alone because they don't think it's going to yield any results. So looking at the grand scheme of things, there are actually a total of 104 casinos in Las Vegas alone. And if this is any indicator, it's to see how kind of forced gambling is, how much it's pushed in Las Vegas. So the casinos that did raise over $72 million each fiscal year, they were kind of taken into account. So they took $5 billion of their visitors' money, each of them. So putting that in perspective, each casino per day would take $630,000 from their customers, and that's just a day per casino. So that's how much revenue that's bringing in. Now talking about working for these casinos on the floor, you recognize a lot of things. You speak with the staff there and they kind of tell you, I mean, if you're curious enough, they'll tell you. They've been there long enough. Some of the kind of seasoned workers, they would tell me about basically how the casinos entice you to spend more money. Like, so you give the casino, I don't know, like $200, they'll give it to you in chips. So you're more likely to spend those chips rather than saying, okay, well, I'm done, and going back and getting your money back. You don't think about the money anymore. You just think, well, I have these chips, I might as well get rid of them. And of course, the free drinks that are on the floor. They're not free, they're just, you're paying for them with your losses, essentially. But that gives you that, of course, the drunker audience makes for a better one.